Okay, we're talking about bulbs. Well, anyway, we're live. You're talking about bulbs. We're live here at Woodstock Trading Company. And we're talking about light bulbs. It's too late to plant anyway. Spring is here. Anyway, welcome to our discussion on incenses at Woodstock Trading Company. We're continuing with our discussion on the subject of Champa Incenses. The whole thing began with this one particular incense called Sairanjani Champa. And ultimately began with Nagchampa, Srinivas Nagchampa. But I became more and more enamored with this one particular Champa, Sairanjani Champa, because it delivered more to me of what really the initial intent of what Champa incenses are about. And it's this fragrance, it's a key ingredient we've discussed before, but I'll mention it anyway, called halmadi. It's this kind of a thick, gooey, sticky stuff that lacks aesthetic, but it certainly is a gorgeous fragrance. So I found that Srinivas, the classic blue box Nagchampa, over years has been changing so much and kind of moving more and more away from that particular kind of fragrance and becoming a new fragrance unto itself, for the good and the bad. Okay, so we left it off last time. We were going to discuss Laxmi. Okay, that's item number 144 on our little list of incenses. You can hit up our website if you want to order some of these things. It's easy enough. You can find us on Yahoo, but it's WTC at woodstocktradeco.com. No, that's our email address. Just look us up on Google and Yahoo and stuff. And we also have a Facebook page, so make sure you hit that as well. And that keeps you up to date on all of our upcoming events. We also have a store itself, an offline store. And we're located 1880 Route 70 East in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. If show up as Marlton Pike, possibly on your GPS devices. If you're interested in any samples of either what I'm going to be showing, or you just want to say surprise me, you can send us a full-size self-addressed stamped envelope to Woodstock Trading Company, and we'll send you samples. Make sure you write a little note saying what you'd like to receive, and we'll send it to you right away. So where we left off, we were going to begin discussing Laxmi, item number 144. Despite its being number 144, we've actually had this fragrance a long time. It's just that the numbering system was newer. And Laxmi and Nagchampa for many years were parallel products. And they went neck and neck, and they were similar. The classic blue box Nagchampa was slightly more aromatic, slightly brighter, a little less earthy, a little less of the sustain of its fragrance. Whereas Laxmi went a slightly darker path, where it was deeper, a little darker, a little earthier. And this was really appreciated by people who wanted something a little bit deeper, a little darker. All right, Nagchampa then diverged and went its way. Laxmi did not change at all. It maintained a steady path, with only one exception. There was one batch, 1 year, for whatever reason. It's very, very dark sticks, very, very wet sticks. We think it was an error in manufacturing, but they were truly amazing, and they're highly sought after. I have a few of those sticks, and I light them up for a few minutes at a time. Anyway, Laxmi. Now, to give you a description, if you've had or used the Sairanjani Champa, it's quite similar, but it's a little bit brighter still, and it's definitely less aromatic. Its fragrance is much, much more subtle. It also is significantly more camphorous. I describe a bright fragrance, and I'll kind of suffix it by saying it's a slightly camphorous fragrance. True camphorous, that is to say, not naphtha like the mothball scent, but more like if you've ever smelled true camphor or something kind of mentholated or camphorated. They used to use that stuff in shaving creams. I don't know if it's still a common thing anymore because, as you can see, I really haven't shaved in a while. So you'll pick up a fragrance in it that is reminiscent of something bright, almost minty, which is that camphorous quality. And it is quite earthy, slightly tobacco-y, like pipe tobacco, like a black pipe tobacco. Noticeable, and I've described in Sairanjani this earthy subterranean quality, this sort of cave-like quality. I won't say musty, it's not a true proper description, but if you've walked through caves, you'll pick up a certain fragrance, and it's definitely noticeable in here. It's a mossy fragrance. Right. It's a little bit resinous. I doubt it's dragon's blood in here, but it's something definitely akin to it, because again, it has that cigar leaf fragrance, and it's slightly rosy, which is something that you get from dragon's blood, but I would doubt sincerely that that is what is in here. This is really great if you like Champa Incenses, but you're looking for something a bit more subtle. Something like, it's almost like cutting a strong drink. Okay? It's beautiful. It's proper. I think you'll enjoy this. Like I said, if you want to get a sample, this is Raj Laxmi. This is item number 144. I hardly go more than a couple days without using this. It's one of the incenses that I will caveat only by saying that it significantly varies from batch to batch. Ultimately, the direction is pretty much the same. They keep coming back to the same themes over and over again, but I have noticed that from batch to batch there have been subtle variations. This particular batch has a little bit more of a vanilla-like note, which the previous batch had less of and more of the camphorous note. But these are all just themes and variations. The next one I'm going to talk about also has not changed until very recently, and I'm thinking that this might be a permanent change, and I believe a permanent change for the much, much better. Ooh, my ashtrays. Ooh, that's okay. Thank you. Okay. This one here is Ja Love. Oh, I don't have a number. Let me get a number on that one. Pardon me. Ja Love is item number 102. Okay. Now, yes, this is a previous batch. I'm going to show the current batch. The previous batch, very similar to an item I had called Champa Gold. This batch differs quite a bit. And I think this is going to be the way it's going to stay, and if so, I'm very happy about it, because I think this is a far superior item. Ja Love, first of all, it's one of those items that obviously does not sell for its packaging. I receive it in these primitive little boxes like this, and this is it. This is the largest size I can get it in, which are 100-gram boxes, but I divide it up into smaller boxes. We end up reusing these boxes for our display purposes, for our jewelry and things like that. We don't throw anything away. We're terrible pack rats that way. Okay. Ja Love. This is the new one, so I'm getting used to this. Okay? And when it came, I was very surprised, because I instantly looked at the stick and saw how different it was. It's much, much damper, which was encouraging, because that usually means more halmati. And in this case, it's true. Halmati is a substance that never completely dries out unless you put it in a desiccation chamber. It has the tendency to pull water right from the air. There's certain things that do that. This is one of them. It's a property. It's called hygroscopic. fancy word. You get to use that one. Some materials do that. Like if you ever work with lye and you put it on the table, lye pellets, and you look back at them and they get wet, and a few seconds later and they start sticking together because it's pulling water right from the air. We can go into that chemistry, but we don't have to. Okay. This new stuff, far, 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 far superior to what we were using before. All right. In fact, I'm going to light one of the old ones so I can compare them side by side. Even though it's not as important for you to know what the old ones are like, but I've never really ever before tried them side by side. It's a much drier stick. Still a good fragrance. But this I believe is far superior. Yeah, not even close. Wow. See, the old stuff, it's fairly pleasant.
Do you have a lot of the old stuff?
No, I have almost none. Old stuff is nice. Okay. And it burns a lot hotter. It's a lot sharper. It's a lot more aggressive. It has a little sting to it. It's an interesting honeysuckle kind of quality to it.
If people like the old stuff, should they get on the stick and say old
Yeah,
stuff?
I would. But I can't imagine why anybody would after they've had the new stuff. Burns a lot hotter. It's dry.
If anybody that used the old stuff wants to sample the new one, they can get in touch.
Yeah, please do. Send a full-sized self-addressed stamped envelope to Woodstock Trading Company, 1880 Route 70 East. We have the nuts and bolts again in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 08003. Yeah, so the old stuff is also moderately bright, fairly clean. It's an interesting floral, honeysuckle, halmadi kind of quality about it, a little bit camphorous and bright. But when I compare it, I'm sorry if you don't mind. When I compare it to the new stuff, this is a fantastic marriage of fragrances. It's one of those things I've been waiting for somebody to create, and finally somebody did. Who the manufacturers are, I don't know.
Jalove.
It's Jalove, and it's a perfect marriage of sandalwood, really, really nice sandalwood, magnificent sandalwood, and sandalwood oil as well, which is part of the wet texture I'm feeling, but there's also definitely some water in there from the halmadi. It's a magnificent marriage, very subtle, very gentle, very light. This is a really, really good Champa type incense to use for company who you might be worried about, maybe sensitive to fragrances. So give this one a whirl. This is Jalove. It's gone by a variety of other names, but all of the other names by which it has gone are kind of meaningless, and we still know it, and it's in honor of a very good friend of ours as well that is called Jalove. He's a really amazing guy. I wish I could describe him to you, but he's the real deal. This is magical. This is Jalove, bright, clean, sandalwood oil, and there is some frankincense in there, which I'm now getting. I wasn't getting before. I'm getting it's a bergamot, lemon, the bergamot, like an Earl Grey tea kind of quality in it.
Delicious.
Oh yeah, no, it's really phenomenal. Earl Grey tea, if you treat it in a certain way, it kind of creates a new thing unto itself. If you've ever brewed tea in a samovar, there's a certain magic that it kind of creates. I don't know why it works that way, but you'll get some of that in here, and I think that's from the frankincense in here. Frankincense is a common thing. You'll see, I guess, I don't know that much about Rastafarianism, but most of the Rasta guys I know, they buy frankincense from me, practically by the pound. So it must be common use. If anybody out there knows anything about Rastafarianism and fragrances, and incenses and other things that are used in ritual, I'd love to know. So email us, definitely, or go on Facebook and you can post some stuff for us, because, we're thirsting information 24/7. So we're going to kind of leave it here. They're really beautiful, both very light, gentle fragrances. Raj Laxmi, item 144. This is the Jalove, this is item 102. Go online, check it out. Again, if you want samples, we love to send samples. We're like Santa. We love sending gifts to people. We do it all the time. So do yourself a favor and take the effort and do that. And I think you'll groove on this. So we'll see you, I guess, in just a few weeks, right? Yeah, maybe even sooner. Excellent. Thanks.